All right, we in Atlanta. A3C weekend. I got the homie Canon. Let's see if he screws up this intro while I drop the intro.
What? Wait, what?
Screw up the intro.
I'm not supposed to. Am I supposed to not say anything?
You're supposed to be quiet. Canon is the fourth person to screw up the intro and talk over the intro. This just shows me that none of y'all really rock with my YouTube content.
Hey man, I love you, man. Stop hating me, man. Why you hate me?
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Yes, I'm good. Blessed.
So we met a long time ago. You started out as Lecrae's hype man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What show was that? That was House of Blues? Was that House of Blues?
That was House of Blues.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And Bentley Farnsworth was there too?
Farnsworth Bentley was there. Bentley Farnsworth. Hey man, I'm trying to get a Farnsworth Bentley interview. You messing up the situation right now.
Sorry, bro.
So we met. I actually forgot about that. But what I do remember, my fondest memory of you is
usually this is jacked up. Usually when people
No. I'm an affirmation guy. All right, okay. so it's Pay Dues Festival, and the year is 2020, and this is a very flattering story of you.
Oh my gosh.
If Lecrae ever sees this, you probably won't like this story. But it's Pay Dues 2020. Murs thinks it's a great idea to put Lecrae on like right before 3-6 Mafia. That was like his thing. Like he was just like, I'm gonna put like, and then he had like a Christian rapper battle like a non-Christian rapper. And Murs would do these like social experiments just to like throw Christians in the lines. And so he's like, yo, I'm gonna put Lecrae on.
I was wondering why we were right there, like
right before 3-6 Mafia. And he thought it was genius. So y'all are rocking, and I think it was DJ Official, Nate the what is it?
Nate the Break. Nate the Break, yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are rocking. Lecrae's doing relatively well. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a tough set. I'd never seen him struggle that hard through a set because every other context I've seen Lecrae in was in front of like 15,000 like evangelicals, and he's just like Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? And then here he is, Pay Dues Festival. No one knows who he is. He's rocking right before 3-6 Mafia. Totally different demographic.
Yeah.
And then the music just stops.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And I remember you grabbed the mic and you went into one of the coldest double time flows, a cappella, that I've ever heard. And you finished that joint off with a backflip.
It's like a movie.
It's a true story.
I remember the rap part.
And then you stopped, and I don't know if you dropped the mic, but in my mind, it's like Sexual Chocolate dropped the mic and did a backflip, son. I was like, this dude is cold. And then the set kind of rebounded. And then it was kind of like, he kind of got his bearings again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, actually, I do now. There were several times.
Do you remember the backflip though?
I vaguely remember the backflip though. That's how I know I wasn't thinking about health insurance because I surely didn't have any. Yeah. But that was just one of the very few times I had to kind of save moments of the show because you got to just keep it going kind of thing. And so,
well, that's how I knew you was like a rapper's rapper. Like he was like a real MC because that's the real thing. Is like what happens when the tracks don't play? What happens when the sound system? Yeah. Are you good enough to go a cappella?
Yeah.
And that day I was like, oh, this fool Canon is nuts.
Yeah. I mean, I came up from a hip hop background where I was the youngest out of so many older MCs, and they taught me you just gotta keep going, even if you mess up, keep going. You are the party. It ain't just the DJ, it ain't just the mic. You are the party. Bring the party to the crowd. So
yeah, man. So you then you pivot from working with Lecrae. You start doing your own thing. You sign with Reflection Music Group. You put out a few projects that seem to have done pretty well for you. And the career just keeps building. You know what I'm saying? You're doing your own shows, you're doing your own tours. Like you're becoming your own person.
Dang, you noticed me. Oh, I feel good.
I'll be paying attention, bro.
Oh man,
I'll be paying attention. And you're also a very likable person. You know what I'm saying? I got other stories I could share,
I got a lot of bad ones, man. I got a lot of bad stories.
Nah, they were just. I remember there was a night where me and Belief ended up at like Lecrae's and R Swift's birthday party in Atlanta.
Oh my!
And you was there. I don't know if you were married yet, but
oh,
we won't get into the details of that.
I remember that night. There were some text messages that had to be sent the next day.
All I remember is we were at like an IHOP or something at the end of the night, and you was like, "Nah, I'm straight. I'm just enjoying my Christian liberty."
Ain't much changed.
That's a fact. So, but you came into your own, like as an artist, right?
Yeah.
Which could be very difficult for somebody to start in this or get to this like you're killing as the hype man. Like you're again, if Lecrae sees it, he probably won't like, but you're stealing some of these shows as the hype man. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Or saving some of these shows. And then you pivot, you become your own artist. The momentum is building, and then you end up having this like gnarly accident. You know what I'm saying? That then changes the trajectory of your life.
Yeah.
On some like again confirming like what I knew about you was like you was on some like, and I don't know how many people know the ins and outs of the story, but you was on like some hero stuff. You know what I'm saying? Can you briefly just tell what happened and like the aftermath of that?
Yeah. I mean, afterwards, I'm in the hospital, of course. And I remember
You so humble. You ain't want to tell the hero part.
No, there was no real hero part. I felt like I did what I felt like anybody should have done. You see somebody in a car accident and they're still there and they're still conscious and nobody's responded yet. I felt like I did what I think anybody should do, and that's just go see if they're okay, help them. You know, I mean, because to be honest, I didn't see it from a heroic standpoint or anything like that. To be honest, I felt the opposite. I mean, I thought what I saw was sparks and stuff coming from the truck that was flipped upside down. It had gasoline and stuff like that. I did the opposite. I actually ran. Like I ran. Like I tried to jump over the median thinking I could take cover if this thing explode. But I didn't look at it as heroic. I was like, man, when I had the opportunity to stay when it could have got really bad, I didn't. I ran like everybody else did. Yeah. It's just so happened.
I mean, a lot of people would have just drove past the car, though. You know what I'm saying? You stopped and got out and were trying to help.
Well, I mean, again, like I was driving behind my road manager, and he stopped. And when he stopped, I stopped because he stopped. And then when he got out, I went out. I was like, okay, he's getting out. Something's going on. Then I got out. That's when I saw it. We both ran to, check out the people in the truck. So it wasn't just me. I was just the one that got hurt. But my man Brandon was the one who wanted to check on them. And I'm going because he going. You know what I'm saying? But no, we don't really talk about him in the story. But he was really the first responder. I was really the second responder coming up behind him. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, he the hero. I was the one assisting. So,
so you end up taking a pretty bad fall.
Yeah.
Put you in the hospital for a minute, right?
Yeah, it was about 30-something feet. But I was in the hospital for a long time. Well, at least it felt like a long time. And then I had some more surgeries. Then ended up staying as an outpatient at my road manager's house for about a month. And then after that, I had another surgery, and then I ended up finally coming back home. So after that, we started doing physical therapy, and then next thing you know, that same year, further down in the year, ended up finally getting back on my feet. And first set of shows I was doing was with Derek. So, yeah.
So, I mean, that's again, you didn't go into all the details, but that's a pretty heavy thing to bounce back from, to watch you bounce back. You know what I'm saying? To watch you, from a career standpoint, I watched you pivot, and that was cool. And I was like, wow, he reinvented himself. Instead of just being the sidekick, he became his own man. And then to build the momentum, get everything going, and boom, you got to hit pause on your life for almost a year.
I think it was necessary.
You know what I mean? And now you're triumphant again, bouncing back from that. You know what I mean? And you're making the dopest music of your career. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
You're hands down, I would say you and Prop are probably, I put Andy in there too, are probably the 3 dopest performers in our community.
Wow,
You know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
I'm not capping. I really
Wow.
mean that.
I just be acting a fool. But
you do be acting a fool. There was a South by Southwest 2018.
Oh, man,
this man went on after Derek. Before me, I know why Doc put you on before me. That was a terrible decision, Doc. Doc built the show like this: Propaganda, D1, Derek Minor, Canon,
oh my God,
Ruslan Brazzle.
That's because you dope. Because you dope. That's why.
All I remember is I'm getting ready to walk on stage. The stage is over here. I look over there. This man Canon is on the bar, rapping and performing from the bar. That joint was crazy.
That's how it's supposed to be. That's where I come from. That's how it's supposed to be. Like the stage isn't just what you stand on. It's wherever you go. Yeah. And that's where I come from. That's why that doesn't. Yeah. I don't think twice about it.
Yeah. But I've seen you do that in front of 500 people. I've seen you do that in front of 5,000 people, and I've seen you do that in front of 50 people at a small little basement church in Boston. And you are as consistently dope and delivering at that level regardless of where you're at.
I appreciate that. I again, you do it's why you do it. It's not for who you do it. It's why you do it. And you know, I'm gonna be me regardless, so I might as well be me and worship God and be me and do all that at the same time. Yeah. The little crowd isn't more special than the big crowd. The big crowd ain't more special than the little crowd.
Yeah. What is it in you though that consistently pushes despite the adversities that life throws at you?
Oh, you just got deep.
That's how we do it. We gonna go real light, and then we gonna go real deep.
Are you asking what encourages me, how I get through?
No, what do you think? Is it the way you was raised? Is it just Jesus and the Holy Spirit? Is it a book you read that like you have this unrelenting thing to keep pushing despite the cards not always, and the stars not always aligning the way what any of us would want. Yeah, you've endured one of the most horrific things I think anybody can go through, and you persevere, and then just persevere, but like got better. Your performances are better. I mean, you ain't doing backflips and stuff, but like your live show is still lit, and you're making the best music I've ever heard from you. Man,
I'm gonna be honest. This is probably about the most honest I've been on this kind of subject. What some people don't know is I've always dealt with depression. Okay. Like bad a lot of times, all my life, and it wasn't until like the accident happened that they were like, we need to do some tests on him because something ain't right. And then it was like, yeah, he has clinical depression. Have you guys known this? I was like, nah, my parents wouldn't take me into no.
Yeah, so, because there's a difference between being depressed because life is depressing and then having like an imbalance, some chemicals imbalanced. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I had gotten accustomed to having dark moments and dark days. Like I got used to it. It wasn't nothing new to me. It just felt like it's another thing. And I've been in life and death situations before. I almost died several times in my life. Doc know about some of them. But
all we heard is a smirk from Doc in the background.
Just right. So I'm used to being in hard situations, in bad situations. And I'm used to feeling dark or bad because of having to deal with depression. Like, I don't go out and just talk about, I got depression, da-da-da-da. Like, I don't always think that's healthy. I think people kind of see moments on social media when I start going off on folks. But I had gotten accustomed to dealing with that kind of thing. So when it happened, it was just kind of like, well, you got to get back to it. You got to get back. I mean, it happened, but we got to keep moving. You got to provide for your family. You got to keep working. Yeah. So it was more so just like a natural thing. It wasn't like crying out to the Lord, oh my God, Lord, give me strength. It was like, we got to figure this out.
Yeah. That's why that you say it's almost like the depression in a way prepared you for a horrific traumatic event to happen.
Yeah. It at least prepared me for the getting back on my feet portion. Because, when I was depressed after the accident, it wasn't anything new that I felt. You know, I felt that depression before. It was more so the feeling of I'm depressed, but physically I can't do anything about it. I can't walk away. I can't go outside. I can't whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't do anything about it. So it felt like depression plus helplessness and hopelessness. But again, you know, I'm like, man, you know, people are depending on me to get back and be well, and people are praying. And I was really leaning on those prayers. And so I knew with a matter of time I'd be back on my feet. I didn't know what it would look like, but I was like, all right, God, at some point, and I'm asking the doctors, like, yo, so when am we back rapping? Because I got stuff to do. So, and they're like, you need to sit down for like a couple months. Like, you ain't doing nothing for a while. So, but yeah, it was just, it felt like just another thing.
Gotcha.
You know.
That's dope. So what's next? What's on the way? I know you always in the studio. I know you always cooking.
Yeah.
Why does this man, what you laughing for in the background? Oh, okay. Hey man. Studio audience is Doc and Rockstar JT over here. I was asking like a serious question. What's next? What's on the horizon for Canon?
What is next? So yeah, next week we start tour. No big deal. Stephen Malcolm, myself. We starting on the West Coast.
Well, y'all coming to San Diego?
No, we're not coming to San Diego.
It's all right. Nobody comes to San Diego. I ain't mad.
Man, I love San Diego, but you know we got to build it out a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be like in Colorado, though, Denver area. So. Shout out to everybody in Denver. We're gonna be over there. We coming. Captive Society. They out there. Y'all check them out. DJ Standout. Check it in. Anywho, so yeah, we tour. Also working on 2 projects. I'm working on my own project, and the other project I can't talk to you about yet. But we're working on it simultaneously. And of course, syncs. We're trying to get our music on TV. So. Yeah. With
your music, I feel like does really well. You know what I'm saying? Or at least the record with Derek was amazing.
Yeah. So I mean, those are easy.
Yep.
You know, those are probably the most fun because it's just all sports related and team, you know, themed and whatnot. So
that's dope. Any final thoughts for anybody that may be going through a rough season that they don't have to control over the variables. You know what I'm saying? Like, what advice would you have them in terms of just whatever?
Yeah, it's okay to not be okay. I think we have to create a space for people to not be okay and be honest. A lot of times when we don't feel that, we keep it to ourselves, and so we end up trying to medicate ourselves, and it's not healthy. And that's when we end up being in our worst times alone, and usually it's too late to ask for help for some. So, no, it's okay to not be okay. Nobody's telling you to be okay. It's okay to not be okay and feel what you feel. God allowed David to feel what he felt. He allowed Moses to be frustrated and confused. He gave grace. He allowed Timothy to be afraid. It's okay, you know.
It's good.
So, yeah, feel what you feel, be honest about what you feel, and be around people that can understand and carry the weight of what you feel, because it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah. That's good, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're following Canon on all platforms.
Hey.
Check out the music. A lot of stuff cooking. And check him, Stephen Malcolm.
Yes. No big deal.
No big deal on tour? What?
Yeah, it's going down.
What?
Hey, man,